particular, I'd like to thank the members of Mr. Ogba'S family who are here today. Their passion and in their time of grief helped us move this investigation forward. I'd like to leave with this message. Anyone with any further information in this case should be made aware that the investigation is not over. To the getaway driver, we will find you and we will arrest you. If anyone has any information whatsoever that might assist us, I would ask them to call me at the Homicide Squad, or if you wish to remain anonymous, call Crime Stoppers at 222-TIPS. Before I take any questions about the investigation in particular, I'd like to introduce you to Superintendent Ron Tabner, the District Commander, who would like to say a few words.
Thanks, Jason. I'd like to echo some of the things that Jason has highlighted on. The community involvement and the community participation is what helped solve this particular case. And I think most importantly, how the grief of the family has reacted with our officers. It's a very great family, and the tragedy that they've suffered is overwhelming to them, and it resonates with our officers and the investigation. I have to compliment Homicide Team 1, the investigators, the work that they've done tirelessly working on this investigation, spending many hours, long hours, to help solve this case. To the community that supported this investigation, and to the officers of Toronto Police, the Homicide Squad, the uniform officers from this and other divisions that came and rallied around in that area to provide the visible support of uniform presence. And quite frankly, in a troubled area as Scarletwood has been, the visible presence has been very helpful with the community feeling a sense of security. So I want to thank everybody for their support, participation, and the great work that's been done here. Thank you.
Detective, you mentioned Mr. Ogba'S family and their passion is helping the investigation move forward. Is that because it was an inspiration for you investigators, or did their emotional pleas to the public inspire witnesses who otherwise may have been reluctant to come forward?
I think it was a bit of both. I can say that from my time being an investigator, a detective, and a member of the Homicide Squad, it's probably one of the worst notifications that I've had to give. That was very difficult. But I did see a side of Mr. Ogba'S family. You can always judge a person's character by the people that they're surrounded by. And I knew we were dealing with a good man here, just by being able to speak to his family members and those that were closest to him. I've met many of the community members as well who knew Mr. Ogba, who knew Nnamdi. And just from their words, you could tell that his death would be felt not only by his immediate family, but by an entire community. And so I think that impassioned our own investigators, our own detective constables who did incredible work, and the uniform officers and the plainclothes officers within 23 Division and 12 Division, just some incredible work. And yes, all deaths are unacceptable, but this one in particular inspired these officers to work incredibly hard.
Did you get the sense that from both the neighborhood where the shooting happened and the neighborhood where the alleged shooters are from, I mean, you talked about sort of this being part of this ongoing dispute between two neighborhoods. Did you get the sense that even though Mr. Ogba wasn't even from either of these neighborhoods, that there were people that heard the story and thought, enough is enough, people that otherwise may have been reluctant to come forward in previous shooting investigations and help you with this case? Absolutely.
I would say that's a fair characterization, that the nature of Mr. Ogba being, having no affiliations to this particular community or into any gang, or not even having a criminal record himself, I think that caused people to look closely at what this situation was. And people did look into their hearts, and they did come forward with information that assisted us.
Is this about two neighborhoods and an ongoing feud between them?
At this point, I don't want to get into the nature of the motive for the incident. What I can say is that my initial assessment that Mr. Ogba was an innocent man walking through a particular neighborhood who was shot and killed for no reason, that still holds today.
Are the two people you arrested known to you guys?
As the matter is before the courts, I don't want to get into their particular backgrounds.
Are you worried, I mean, because you spoke in the past about this neighborhood feuds, we know there's been other shootings, both in that neighborhood and in the neighborhood where these guys are from. Are you worried that now that these guys have been arrested, that Mr. Ogba has been killed, that there's going to be another one, maybe over in the other neighborhood, or that, you know, that this is going to continue?
Well, I think the answer to that is that there will always be crime, but at the same time, we have diligent officers that are on the ground trying to anticipate where this might happen. And these officers care about the communities they work in. The officers in 12 Division, the officers in 23, the officers in 31. I've met some very fine constables. I think the city would be proud if they could have seen what I saw throughout this investigation. They'd be proud of their police officers. So yes, I do believe that we can be proactive and we can prevent things from happening. We can't prevent everything from happening, but we can certainly work hard to try and prevent it.
Does that activity mean that you will continue the increased presence going forward, because we know that this area does have these issues?
I can speak to that. The simple answer is yes. We've brought in resources from other areas of the police service to support our officers here in 23 and 12 Division, and that will continue. I can't say for how long, but certainly in the short term it will continue, and we'll assess it as we move forward. It's very important to us that communities feel safe. And one of the ways that we do that is through the visible presence of officers in communities that are troubled. Unfortunately, we can't be everywhere all the time, but certainly we'll be in this area in the short term.
Superintendent, are you concerned in this short term about there being a retaliation shooting from one neighborhood to the next?
We're always concerned about that. We see this as the detective has mentioned. These type of things are occurring and probably will continue to occur. This back and forth turf war, if you want to call it that type of event, it will continue. It's our job to interrupt that, to prevent these things from happening, and we're going to go about that in a very proactive way.
Detective, and I don't know, Superintendent, you might be able to comment on this too. I know it's not your case, but the murder that happened in January, just around the corner from there, Shaquille Wallace, do you have any indication that case may be connected to this one, just given the people that you have in custody?
Sure.
Certainly there have been discussions between the investigative teams who are in charge of Homicide 2 for 2019 and this one. And so we're going to continue those. We're going to continue to share information with each other. That's the nature of the Homicide Squad. We do share information with each other, so that's ongoing.
So that's not ruled out that he may have been targeted for the same sort of reason?
At this point, nothing is ruled out.
Are the suspects cooperating with finding that driver?
We're not going to talk about investigative issues that are ongoing, taking place, what we're being told. Homicide, I can tell you, has done an amazing job, a thorough job, and as Jason has said, I think the public would be proud to know what the officers have done to bring this case before the courts.
But there is still a third person out there. You're asking for the public's help. Is there any indication of what they're supposed to be looking for?
Jason, you want to speak to that?
The help that we're seeking right now are going to be the people that are closest to not only the two people, Mr. Miller and Mr. Mohammed, it will be those people that are closest to those two individuals that I would like to come forward and to call us. Obviously, this is not a wide cast or a wide appeal to the general public. This is an appeal directly to the people who are closely associated with both Mr. Miller and Mr. Mohammed, who may know something about who this person is.
How do the two accused know each other, or how do they come to know each other that night?
I'm not going to comment on what we know about the past relations between both accused parties at this time.
Detective, please, can you say where exactly they were arrested?
They were arrested in their homestay.
In the, can you say though, in like the Jane and Trethewey neighborhood?
Each were arrested in the city of Toronto, and I'll leave it at that. I mean,
12th Vision?
Both men have families, and extended families, and so for that reason, and for the reason that we just spoke about, constant retaliation from one neighborhood to the other, I would leave it that both men are from Toronto.
Thank you.
So tell me, how do you feel that the men who potentially or allegedly killed your stepson have been arrested?
Oh, we definitely want to thank the Toronto police and the detectives that are in charge of them. From the first day we met, I was pretty confident that something positive was going to come out of it. And we're very glad as a community, as a society, as a family, that, we can confidently say, you know what, the people that did this thing are now in custody.
Now, one of the things you wanted was to see increased patrols in that area, which they say that's going to be done. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely. Because, when we went there, even for a candlelight vigil, you find out that people there feel they are scared, they feel unprotected. You can't live in a community where you can't sleep. You're scared, you don't know what's going to happen the next minute, you don't know who's going to be shot the next minute. It's wrong. It's a very bad thing to, we shouldn't feel that way where we live.
Does this give you any comfort then?
Oh yes, this is a lot of confidence, a lot of comfort, not just for me, but for everyone that, every Trinitarian should be confident, should be happy, should not be scared to go to bed and sleep, or should not be afraid to walk around, obviously.
The officers spoke about how this case has resonated with them because of the character of your stepson. Can you talk to us a bit about that?
Well, everyone that have been around and everyone that have spoken about Nnamdi or that know him, they know that, he's a person of very strong character, very good young man, and had a lot of prospects. Unfortunately, his life was cut short, which is very unfortunate. He was a good person, and everyone that know him knows he's a good person.
So what was your reaction when you got that call this morning?
When I got the call this morning, I was, I've been in touch with him, and the only thing is that he won't tell me much, but, the later he drops and tells me, I can tell you much, and I tell him I understand, because I do understand. You don't want to do things that would jeopardize the investigation. So when I got the call this morning, I was excited, and I quickly called my family and let them know. I called my community members, to tell them, and everybody's been, because people have been praying. People have been praying. You don't put a family into sorrow and overnight for no reason. For no reason.
Mm-hmm. You were smiling just now when I asked you what your reaction was. Is this the first time today that you smiled in a couple weeks?
Absolutely, because we just wanted to know, we want to know what happened. What happened? Who did he wrong? What did he do wrong? Who did he offend? So, what is it that happened that cannot be resolved amicably, that we warrant you to take someone's life? So those things are things we were looking forward to hear and to know. And knowing that the police have them now, is a good way forward.
Police are concerned, though, that this could continue, that if your stepson was killed as part of this ongoing beef between two neighborhoods, this isn't going to be the end. So what would your message be to anybody out there right now who might be carrying a gun and thinking, I'm going to get back at these guys, or I'm going to do this again, you know, just not stop it.
No neighborhood is supposed to live in fear. There's no neighborhood that should live in fear. And anyone that is still holding guns and is thinking you're going to kill, you're going to shoot someone else, the police will hunt you down. The nemesis will catch up with you. And if the society can cooperate, if the communities can cooperate, if you see something, say something. Don't just, you know, if you know something is going wrong, say it. I mean, speak to the police. Come forth.
But I
If
think
we do that,
we want to make sure that we make the point that Nnamdi was not a member of any gang or a community that is in war with anybody.
No.
He was just a person going about his business. He had finished soccer in the night, went to visit his friends, and they got him down for no reason. So it's not a matter of communities fighting against or the other. It is that this guy was shot for no reason, and that's why we are so concerned and we are worried. We want to know, why would anybody take the life of an innocent, progressive, forward-looking young man?
Well, police have said it has nothing to do with Nnamdi.
Okay.
It's the fact that they wanted to just target this neighborhood, that it could have been anybody that was walking there, that he was just the unlucky guy who was there just after they pulled up, you know?
yeah, I remember one of the members, you know, from the community, you know, actually said, because actually they said it could have been someone else. It could have been anyone else. That we don't know yet, but if it was targeted, we don't know. If it was just somebody like, you know what, let's just exercise our rights, you know what, we want to show that we can do it, we don't know. But at the end of the day, since we have people that will be able to tell us what we need to know, the police will help us to, you know, to get this information.
There is still one man out there. What would you have to say to them?
They will hunt him down. They will get him. They will get him. He can't, you see, the thing is that from the first day when this thing happened, we were very confident and very positive. You don't shed an innocent blood. It will haunt you.
Because we have, the police have arrested these two individuals, it will be a stepping stone in terms of getting more clues, I believe. So the question of the third guy will unravel in due course.
We told those guys that they were dealing or they were messing with the wrong community. We told them we're going to hunt them down and we're going to catch them. So not that we were going to do that, but we're going to help the police any way we were going to do that, and that has happened. So for the last guy, the same appeal we made to these two people is what we're making to them. You can choose the easy way and report yourself. But if you choose the hard way, we're game.
At the end of the day, it seems like this still was a senseless act, and at the end of the day, he's still gone.
Wow. We're not going to bring him back. He's gone, right? But we need to know what happened. And we need to live in a community where no one will be scared to walk around. It's very simple, right? Yeah, his death, you know, is likely going to help to resolve a lot of things, you know, and to put the communities and the society a lot. All these guys think they can just go around and shoot a rampage and kill anyone they like, and, you know, no, it doesn't work that way. We don't live in a barbaric society. We live in a society that is organized, right? So that's the way it is. And thank you very much.
Can I have your name? Your name, sir.
My name is Dr. Barnabas Emenuko.
And are you part of the Nigerian Canadian Association?
Yes.
Okay, and you, sir?
Dr. Chidi Wanyanwo.
And are you part of the Nigerian Canadian Association as well?
I'm the immediate past president of the Nigerian Canadian Association.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Big detective that did this job, and we hope that you give us more information and more grace to your elbow. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right here you are. Unity 1. Unity 1.
Could you ask for any clips? Sure. Oh, could you ask Stephen if I have any clips? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.